So as I was saying about Rasmus Højlund, I'm worried about him. I really, really, really am worried about him. I don't want him to live long enough to become the villain. You understand? And I think that's what he's going to become. Let's just part ways. It's beneficial for both parties. He goes to Juve, where honestly, the football in Italy suits Rasmus Højlund. He was exposed in the Premier League. Honestly, if he goes to Juve, I think he will thrive. I think he will. The pace is slow. You look at, man, I was looking at Inter yesterday playing against Barcelona. Those guys were slow. But the tenacity and the one-on-one, Italian football is tricky because it's one-on-one football. It's man marking football. It's not this zonal bullshit. It's man on man in Italy. And man on man in Italy is tricky. It's a different kind of ball game. It's a different kind of thinking. So honestly, I think Rasmus Højlund will thrive there. After all, he was playing for Atalanta. He did score double digits playing for Atalanta, not really even featuring that much, going in and out of injury, but he did. We bought him from Atalanta because he was supposed to be the next best thing. Unfortunately, yeah, man, like I said, football is cruel, and this is what happens. This is what happens in football. It's got nothing. It's not his fault. We're not saying that, shit, nah. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. He's just not good enough. It's not what we need as our number 9, as our striker. We move on. The second topic that I wanted to talk about was Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney said something during the weekend as he was complaining. And I thought it was interesting that he brought it up because when he said it, I got a big head. I got the biggest head. Oh my word. Like, it just inflated because I was like, damn, Benito. Like, you really think about football. Like, you really sit down and think about stuff. And I was like, damn, bro, I'm proud of myself. Because this what I'm about to bring up is something that we talked about, me and D. I'm not sure if we brought, I think we did. I honestly think we brought it up on Glory Reds. It must be in one of those early videos. Not early, during the Ruben Amorim era. But I remember having this conversation. It could have been privately with Pastor D. But I was worried about the 3-4-3, right? I'm like, okay, look, we're secking Erik ten Hag here, right? Erik ten Hag uses the 4-2-3-1. Now, when you're running a club, or I assume, this is what I assume, because you look at majority of other clubs, the academy reflects what they are going to do. So, in other words, the first team and the formation and everything that the first team does, right, it needs to be trickled down throughout the academy. The reason being is that those kids in the academy are striving to play in the first team. Do you understand? I hope people don't think of academy kids as just kids that are going to school with no future of becoming first team professionals, because that's not true. Every academy player wants to play for the first team of that academy. That's just the trajectory. That's just the path. That's where you are heading, right? And then if you don't make it into the first team, you either get released or you get sold, like what Ineos are trying to do with our youngsters. Very good talent, sell them out, ship them out like, we're making money. Like, I think that's what they want to do with our youngsters. But anyway, so in order for that to happen, in order for the conveyor belt to continue doing what it does, the academy needs to be playing the same kind of football this side. That was my argument. That was my thing. That was one of the things that I didn't like about Ineos. That was one of the things that I didn't understand, because it goes against what they were talking about in the list. They dictate the football. Remember that. It is players under the age of 25. They're not going to buy. I forgot that list, but it was a very, yeah. And then another criteria is Manchester United, the sporting director, whatever, the football director, they are the ones that are going to dictate the style of play. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. Eric Ten Hag is like, you're bringing Ruben Amorim, who has got a completely different style to Eric Ten Hag. What does this mean? Does this mean that this same thing should go? I remember saying this. I remember saying it. I'm telling you. Pastor D can back me up on this, or look away and say, man, I don't remember this. But I said this. I think I think from now on, I'll keep, record of certain things. But I did. I was worried about this. I'm like, kids can't graduate from the academy if they do not know what they're coming to, why they're graduating. Do you understand? This side they're playing 4-2-3-1. Come graduation, you're going to a 3-4-3. How will that work? You look at a lot of players in our system currently. They don't work this system. Kobe, Garnacho, they don't work. We're trying to figure out ways to put them into this team. It's not working. Delo, I know people think that Delo is good. It's not working. He's just doing a job. He's a placeholder. But he doesn't get this system. You understand? So there are certain things. So if our senior players are struggling with the system, what more of the kids? What more of the kids? So when Rooney was slamming Ruben Amorim's system because he was like, I don't understand why the senior players are using the 3-4-3, and then he looks at Kai, his son, this side they're using the 4-2-3-1. He's like, how is this even possible? Because if these youngsters are to make it into the first team, they need to have an idea of how this 3-4-3 works. And already we have seen that it is very difficult to adapt into this 3-4-3, especially with the... Okay, I take that back. It's not difficult. As a professional football player, you're supposed to be a sponge. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to do these things. It's supposed to be simple. Fortunately for us, we have got very heavy brains at Manchester United. We've got players that, hey, man, I don't know. Either can't be coached or don't want to be coached or just have big head. I don't know. But some reason, instructions just seem to fade when it comes to our players. A lot of managers have given instructions we've seen, but it just goes in the end, fucks off this side. So when Rooney is correct, he's correct. I agree. It's too little too late. The season is almost done. How come you didn't bring it up then? But it's a point. It is a bloody point. How is it that the academy have got no idea how the 3-4-3 works? And then you got people like Garnacho who are supposed to be seniors to the kids that are coming in next season. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. How is he supposed to help lead? This is crazy. I said it then. I'm saying it now. And this is something that needs to be spoken about. We need to start cooking those kids in the academy in the 3-4-3 system. That's just it. They need to be baking and 3-4-3 is supposed to be their bread and butter now. We've got a lot of exciting talent that is coming through the academy that will be very helpful, because I'm telling you, next season we're getting a new fresh batch of academy graduates. Yes, we're going to have our Collier there, we're going to have our Garnacho there, we're going to have our Friedrichsen there, we're going to have Leon there. We're going to have a lot of youngsters just running around. But if they don't understand the system, we are going to be back here again. Same bullshit the same nonsense we experienced this season, we're going to experience it next season. So, Wayne Rooney is correct. It is correct. Why isn't Manchester United trying to bridge that gap? They need to bridge that gap. It makes absolutely no sense that the academy is not learning or playing in the ways of the senior players. No ways. It makes absolutely no sense. The last but not least is the Bruno Bomber. Listen, this one might, depending on how much I go into this topic, I'm not, hey, bear with me. Bear with me. Al Hilal, who have not won the Saudi League this season and are feeling touched. I think they're touched. They're upset. I'm pretty sure they're expecting to win the SPL this season. And I think if they did, I don't think we would have been having a lot of this noise that we're getting around Bruno Fernandes. But anyway, Al Hilal. Where is Al Hilal? Al Hilal is the team that Neymar was at, if you remember, where Aleksandro Mitrovic is at right now. They have been top of this game for a very, very long time. Unfortunately, I mean in their league there. Unfortunately for them, this season they didn't win. It was Riyad Mahrez is it Al Hilal or Al Ahly that won. Now I don't want to get those things confused. Anyway, Al Hilal have been wanting Bruno Fernandes. They've been coveting Bruno Fernandes for the past 2 years. This is not the second time Bruno Fernandes has been linked to Saudi Arabia. And every time Bruno Fernandes, he rejects the offer. He wants to play in European football. He wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win the big trophies. He wants to win trophies that matter. Now that is what I call a player for you. A player that understands that his football career is limited. And if you want to ingrain yourself with the football greats, you need to play the best football. You need to play in the best leagues. You need to play for the best teams. It's that simple. If you decide to go out there and help, you see, like Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian project only works with retired players or players that have gone beyond, past their prime. Go there and do your stuff. Then you become like China, you become like America. They're trying to break that mold. And that is why now they're giving ridiculous amounts of money. So now Al Hilal, as I said, have been wanting Bruno Fernandes for 2 years. And now they want him more than ever. Like now it's just one of those situations where they're like, look, we know that the only way we can get Bruno out of Manchester United is if we give you guys silly money. And they are prepared to give us silly money. So are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for what Al Hilal are prepared to offer Manchester United for Bruno Fernandes? Like this is what you call a team that wants a player. Do you understand? Al Hilal, and this is according to Fabrizio Romano, Simon Lucas, all the top gurus have reported on this. Yeah? So I'm not spitting out of my ass. This is information. I'm just relaying it in my own way. So it appears that these guys are willing or ready to break the British transfer record to sign Bruno Fernandes. A 30-year-old, 31. Now, for Manchester United fans, we're not used to this. I mean, the last time we sold a player for a lot of money at the right age or whatever was Cristiano Ronaldo. Who else? Let me think. Not even Greenwood. Greenwood was supposed to be expensive. Greenwood was supposed to be like 70, but here's his own story. I think the last big deal that we did was Cristiano Ronaldo when he left to Real Madrid. Like, that was it. Like, that was the amount of money that was big. And ever since then, I don't think we did another big signing like this. Apart from making Maguire the most expensive British defender at the time when we did. But this Al Hilal want to break the British record of ever signing a player ever to sign Bruno. Let me tell you what that means. All right? Sorry, my notes. I'm just getting them a little bit twisted here. Oh boy, where did I? Oh yes. Here it is. So, the current British transfer market or transfer record is 115 million. And I'm assuming that one is the one for Caicedo, right? When Chelsea bought Caicedo from Brighton. I mean, they did also spend 100 million on Enzo, but it wasn't 115 million. And then I tried to remember again, I tried to, to think which other 100M signing did the Premier League ever have? And then I remembered Coutinho. Remember Coutinho, Philippe Coutinho, when he moved from Liverpool to Barcelona. That was also another 100M. But the record right now stands at 115. And that's the one that we did. Sorry, not we. That's the one that Chelsea did, signing Caicedo from Brighton. Al Hilal are willing to break that transfer record. So in other words, these guys are willing to pay anything with on the upwards of 120 million and above. 120 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes. That is mouth-watering money. That is almost three or two top quality players in the transfer market. 120 million. For a 30-year-old Bruno. First of all, that ridiculous amount of money should tell you who Bruno Fernandes is. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody complaining, hey, Bruno amounts too much. Bruno this, Bruno that. Rubbish. This guy is our ace. This guy is our skipper. This guy doesn't want to leave Manchester United. I don't know why. This guy loves Manchester United as much as we do. He is a true professional. He's a true captain. I do not want Bruno. I think if Bruno leaves, I'll cry. I'm telling you. I think Bruno, I will cry. I will cry. I will sob. I will, man, I don't know. I will wail. Whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm not going to be good. I'll be sick if we're able to sell Bruno Fernandes. I'm telling you, this, again, yes, he's 30, 31. And people immediately are going into that thinking of like, he's about to reach his prime. He's going to... You never said that about Cristiano Ronaldo. You never said that about Luka Modric. You never said that about Luis Suarez. You never said that about Lionel Messi. You never said that about... who else? Ashley Young. You know what I'm saying? Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Karim Benzema. 34, what? These guys are still prime. They can still do a job. Giroud, So why is it that we're now putting Bruno Fernandes? And based on the eye test, that Bruno Fernandes is a different kind of species. He's built different. Bruno Fernandes is different from any other player. Look, that guy is different. Bruno is really special. I mean, this ability that he has to be available all the time. This ability, his recovery must be insane. Like, it needs to be studied, guys. You don't understand. It's almost like a freak of nature what Bruno does. Being available, like, it's wild. So, because of that, and then you look at Bruno, ever since he arrived, he's just always been a United. I wanted Manchester United. It's always been United. And those are the players that we fucks with. So, with that being said, Bruno is not for sale. Big guys. Saudi. Bruno's not for sale. Miss us with that. He is not for sale. But money talks. Money bloody talks. Now, let me start throwing in the numbers that apparently have been rumored to be going on around. You know what I'm saying? Al Hilal, and this deal, it's crazy. Like, if Bruno stays, because at the end of the day, I truly believe it will all depend on Bruno. Because what will happen in a situation like this is like Ineos will come to Bruno and be like, yo, these guys have offered 120 million for you, bro. Like, this money could be good for the club. Good for the club. What say you? You wanna go? Can you? Because Bruno, he cannot sit there and be like, nah. He can stay at Manchester United. He can. He has the right to be like, nah. Look, man, I still want to play in Europe's top 5 best leagues. I still want to play in the Champions League. I still want to win stuff. So going to Saudi Arabia is going to stop that. He can do that. But then again, if Bruno is a team player, if he's somebody that loves Manchester United, they might say something like, look, Bruno, you'll be helping the club. We're going to get 120 million for you. We were able to buy 4 or 5 players, 3, 4, 5 players with that money. Okay, 3, 4, 5, I'm stretching. 4. You know, decent, 30, 35, or 3 top players we can get with that 120 million. So they're going to be there discussing. But the thing is with Bruno doesn't strike me as that guy that loves money. Doesn't strike me as that guy that's all in it for the money. Nah. This guy loves football. He loves footy. That's all he wants. To play footy. You come in with those other politics, it just stresses him. That's why, listen to what he said. You remember the time when, was it the Carabao? Just before Erik ten Hag was sacked or whatever, and he was talking about, look, if the club don't want me, and they should tell me, I'll leave. That is a player that believes in himself, in his own ability, and knows that he will change whatever team that he will go for. So already you need to identify that and be like, hey, that player is too confident. He's ours. The guy is willingly saying, look, if they don't want me, they should just tell me. I'll bounce. Do you know how scary that was for fans to hear? Especially after you hear that this guy is our ace, or you know that this guy is the real deal. Bruno Fernandes, guys, I don't know. But anyway, Al Hilal are offering Bruno Fernandes 65 million a year after tax. Currently, we've got players in the Premier League that are earning 15 million, 17, 10. That's where they are. 20 million a year maybe is the maximum in the Premier League. These guys want to give Bruno 65 million a year after tax. 1.25 million a week after tax. Bruno is currently earning 350, I think. 300. These guys want to give him 3 times that. 1.25 million a week. Bruno will be swimming in money. But then, is that what football is all about? Money? These guys think that they can fix a problem with money? No, the only thing that tells me is that I think they understood if there's one player that can change things. Because, we have these players in the world and people don't acknowledge them. We have Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, we have Gaucho, we have Kevin De Bruyne, we have... I'm just spitballing names. Please don't deep the names. But I was trying to give names of players that by themselves, Eden Hazard, they just do things. They make things work. You understand what I'm saying? The game is tough, it's deadlocked. They can take the game by the balls and say, you know what? I'm the man. I'm the captain. Let's go. And they do it. That is Bruno Fernandes, our maverick captain. He's a maverick. Pings balls from all sorts of places, creates numerous chances. He's always thinking ahead. I really want to study Bruno. I want to sit down and have a conversation with him, have a beer with him, and be like, yo, broski, tell me, man, what's up? Because he's my young brother, he's my petit. Petit, tell me, what one? How do you do this? And you're so humble. Like Bruno's humble. Like I've not seen, like, what scandal have you heard about Bruno? A model professional. And now you want to take away our captain. You take away Bruno from us, we are done. We are done because Casemiro is not going to last at Manchester United. He's not. The season is over. Next season is another season. If he doesn't start that season, well, it's a problem. Then we have to use. It's a tricky situation. So this thing is crazy. And the crazy part about this is that Al Hilal know that Bruno Fernandes has got no release clause. You know, they know that there is an amount that Manchester United might negotiate. That's the fucking wild thing about this. That these guys are trying to give them a room, like something to even negotiate about. Like, no, don't let them in. Don't let them in. Don't give them the chance to say, nah. If they're thinking 120 million, just say, look, we're selling Bruno for 175. Yeah, let's sell Bruno for 175 million. Yeah. What? Neymar costed 222 million. Yes, different age groups, blah blah blah. But you're trying to change the face of your team. You want Bruno Fernandes, who's absolutely important for us, and we need him to win the Premier League and the Champions League and the Carabao Cup and all the trophies that he can win at Manchester United. That's what we want for Bruno. He deserves it. Bruno deserves this Europa League because he has been it. He deserves it. He deserves the Premier League. He does. He does. So I don't know what you guys think about this situation with Bruno. Should we entertain this deal? Should we get the money and use it in the transfer market, as because we're not sure we don't know how much our war chest is going to be. We do know that we have to sell to buy. So we don't know how much our budget is going to be, but we definitely know that we need minimum 5 players in by next season, and they need to be in before preseason because the team needs to train together. They need to play together. None of this up and down thing. Now, before I move on, this Bruno Fernandes situation initially, because this offer with the money, it just dropped last night. But before, initially, I was a little bit skeptical about this topic because I was like, what's going on? I thought Al Hilal, because they're playing in the FIFA Club World Cup, I thought they wanted to sign Bruno like what other teams are trying to do. I thought that's what they were trying to do. But then at the same time, I'm like, it makes no sense. You're gonna, okay, fine. Let's say you loan this player out. You're gonna give us the money. He's going to play the World Cup. He's gonna be tired. We need him pre-season. We need him beginning of the season. No, thank you. No fucking thank you. We're fine. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Please don't forget to check us on Spotify. Don't forget to interact with us in this. Leave a comment. If there's anything that I said that's out of line, please call me out. I beg you to. Peace.